Qing's Prose New Year's Day play notes. In middle school, every New Year's Day, the school would always hold a large-scale concert. I spent the New Year's Day of the 16th year in illness. In February of the following year, I entered the second semester of the first grade of the municipal girls' middle school. Not long after, the Jinan massacre happened. At that time, I was only 14 years old. I was full of enthusiasm and immediately took the exam. As a member of the country, he worked hard in disguise and propaganda. He dressed up as Kai Gongshi every day. He had red ink on his nose several times. After he stepped down from the stage, he was often pointed at by the audience and said, "Right?" I just pretended to be a criminal kid and was later caught by the officers and soldiers. Here comes the man who cut off his nose. That's true. But from then on, I was considered an experienced actor, and I always had a role in the drama every New Year's Day. In a girls' middle school, the first question when it comes to performing a play is the selection of preparatory committee members. Although this concert is initiated by the entire student union, it is actually an inter-level competition. The enthusiasm of each level to participate in the performance depends on the number of seats occupied by students of the same level in the organizing committee. Therefore, if there are many people in a certain level who can perform dramas, the student union executive committee will have to select a few more preparatory committee members in this level so that they can be enthusiastic about it. Participate. As for the classes that are not good at acting, you can skip the preparations and let them pout and get angry. However, the executive members are not all thinking about the public good. They don't care about the performance skills of their class. I just wanted to select a few more students from the same level to serve as the organizing committee. So the problem became complicated, starting from November and a half. Even though I convened an ad hoc meeting to discuss this matter, the result was that it would not be until the end of December that the teachers would come out. It has to be solved only after it is designated, even though there are still many people mumbling behind it. After New Year's Day, there is still a lot of sarcastic work at all levels. So there are people who cry and go hungry. So the fun club becomes a tonki club. On the first New Year's Day after I entered middle school, many of the plays performed at all levels were rebellious, such as Chuo Wenjin by Gur Moro, The Death of Concubine Young by Wang Duqing, etc., because it was not far from the May 3rd movement at that time. Although the work of saving the country had been relaxed, the voice of the revolution was always ringing intermittently. So I also starred in the drama Nora. And because of this I was a little naughty, because female actors are not selected based on their personality, but only based on their power at the same level. If you want to be a young and beautiful heroine, you must be the leader of the largest faction in the entire level, regardless of her whether you are competent or not. If you have offended a certain leader in this level, it is rare for her to choose you to play the role of an old woman or a beggar, and with the power of the school not to deduct points, she will force you to go on stage. Even as for the criticism after the performance, that is, articles about various factions and levels criticizing each other, there is no such thing as being objective. By the New Year's Day of the 19th year, the revolutionary fervor had gradually disappeared, and the school was filled with an atmosphere of love. Even in daily correspondence between classmates, the title would be, "My Beloved Friend Who I Miss Every Day," or the only classmate. Wait for the sentence. Then the content of the script this time is definitely the brother and sister, including the resurrection rose, the sorrow of youth, the peacock flies southeast, the abandoned wife, and so on. Come and cry. I'm here to cry, turning the fun party into a crying party. 7 months later, I received my junior high school diploma and transferred to the local provincial ex-middle school. Because I once memorized the essay Self-Education in an English speech contest and won the prize, I was invited by the ex-middle school theater troupe. On the New Year's Day of the 20th year, I performed in the award-winning literary play Ethical Do. This was originally translated into English as the story of Zhuangzi's divorce from his wife and the wonders of modern and ancient times, and our English teacher wrote it into an English play for us to perform. When we went on stage, I was wearing a Western-style dress and high-heeled shoes, and the male classmate who played Zhuangzi was also wearing a suit, so the audience could never guess that the so-called Femchand was the Chinese sage who dreamed of turning into a butterfly. This time I joined the cast and started the trend of co-starring in English dramas are different. The audience only knows that there are a few students pretending to be foreigners and singing foreign operas, no matter what darling or dest you say. When I reached the second year of high school, the September 18th incident awakened the young people from their dreams of love. They distributed leaflets, paraded, disguised themselves to promote till the work was done more vigorously. Then during the May 3rd incident, not only did we need to organize meetings to reverse against the enemy, we also had to resist them hard. The education department ordered all middle schools to organize volunteer armies, and each school formed its own battalion. At that time, I served as the director of the secretariat of the battalion headquarters. I also bought a copy of detailed explanation of current official document procedures and wrote a petition for all female students to support the principle of gender equality and request that the female rescue team be changed to the female volunteer army. But it was not approved. This New Year's Day, the concert was not a fun, so it was renamed Academic Performance. There were no dances or funny plays in the program, except for Chinese martial arts and a self-written patriotic double act. The scripts were all based on passionate and generous stories. It's a story like this. You do a scene of gunshots, and I do a scene of rumbling cannons. The audience was blown away halfway, and in the end we had to let teachers and students from our school come in to support the scene. The entertainment club of X Middle School has always only entertained foreign guests, and teachers and students of the school were not allowed to enter. This time they also chose me to be the reception director. After I thought it was insulting to women, I sternly refused. After the peak of 128 passed, I became a calm person and worked on my desk all day long. In half a year, the CCP lost 28 full-length English classics, excluding other short prose and newspapers, etc., which decided my next time. The reason why I entered the Department of Foreign Languages and Literature after graduation. At that time, many classmates in junior high school were organizing various clubs, writing about the school all day long, criticizing the government, and criticizing this and that. They saw that I was studying and forgetting about saving the country. So when they saw me reading English, they asked, "Are you studying Acres, Fu Education, or Kambili Xianyan?" He also deliberately pronounced the words Oxford and Cambridge in a weird way to ridicule me. So I immediately asked him, "You are in the national crisis level, or self-improvement level?" However, on the New Year's Day of the second year of Gansu, these students in the national crisis and self-improvement classes could only perform historical dramas, such as the assassination of the king of Qin and Su Wuxi, because the authorities labeled them enemies. It has moved from the outside to the inside. Students should be paid more attention to. The names of the general examinations have been decided. The student union has been changed to the student government, and all publications and performances must obtain the approval of the school. Therefore, high school students at all levels disdain to perform fun dramas, are unwilling to perform romantic dramas, and dare not perform patriotic dramas. So most of them include English dramas and Peking operas. Of course, we are no exception. So we selected a play called Shakespeare's War of Words Marriage. During the performance, all the male characters wore special medieval military jackets, with swords at their waists, which were quite dazzling under the lights. In addition, a piece of Peking opera was added. When the one who played Wu Zigu sang the words "Nothing has been accomplished" to spots on the temples and other lines, he burst into tears, filled with grief and indignation, and even sang, "I and my good ministers are not at odds. You are on the verge of breaking up again." But even if you feel sad and angry, you can only vent your anger by borrowing the words of the ancients. If you express it yourself, it is your luck to be imprisoned by the Communist Party, and it is a trivial matter to rebuke. It has been 2 years since I left. There was nothing good to perform. But last year when I returned to my hometown and visited as a guest, ordinary classmates enthusiastically performed Miss Lulu and other love scenes under the New Year's Day party. I know a circle. It's been a detour. I wonder what they will do on New Year's Day this time.